What is going on, horror fanatics? As you know, welcome to I Shot 'Em Six Times YouTube horror movie channel. But more importantly, welcome to the Horror Hooligans podcast, episode 2. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about 6 ways the slasher side of horror has evolved. Now, for you guys in the chat, you don't have to come up with 6 ways. You can just name 1, 2, however many you guys decide to think of about how the slasher side of horror has evolved since it has basically become a mainstream phenomenon over the course of the years since Psycho, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so on and so forth. So this is definitely going to be a fun episode. And as you guys are all well aware, I'm not alone. I have my co-host, my brother from another mother, the governor of Springwood. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Destin from Destination Station onto the panel. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing quite all right. You know what I mean? Started off the day great, making me a poster, you know what poster I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Got a lot of people, liking it, talking about it, and just having a really fun time, trying different things out, to push out content and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And how was your day?
Man, it was pretty busy, man. I think we got like a storm approaching right now, and
Okay.
It's getting kind of wild here in the city of Dallas a little bit, but hopefully the storm will calm it all down for tonight. So I don't know. Hopefully my connection stays together because there is a storm approaching.
Yeah, I know that feeling all too well, but I have a feeling we're going to be good, bro. I have all the most confidence in the world. This is going to be a smooth stream. I'm super excited to talk about what we are going to be talking about in this episode because, as you all know here in the chat, and as you know, Destin, we are really big fanatics of the slasher side of horror. So I'm super excited to see how you feel about how the slasher side of horror has evolved ever since it broke into the mainstream, and even how you feel it's going to keep evolving as we keep going down this, rabbit hole of horror movies that they keep pumping out for us. So I'm super excited to hear what ideas you have. I'm super excited to talk about my ideas as well, but also everyone in the chat. Like I said, you guys don't have to come up with 6 ways. It could just be 1, it could be 2, whatever is comfortable for you guys. You know what I mean? This is going to be a fun chat, man. I think we're going to have a really good time talking about this.
We're just hooligan around.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right, brother. That's absolutely right. So I will get to the chat before we get started into our conversation here. Ooh, man, a little bit behind here. Oh man, I do want to give a shout out to Jerry, who became a member. I guess he became a member by on here, and then it translated over to my Saw live stream. So either way, Jerry Wilson, thank you, brother. Jerry. Thank you for becoming a member once again, man. And hopefully you're here with us tonight to talk about 6 ways the slasher side of horror has evolved. It's going to be a fun time. What's up, DJ? You want to do it, Destin? Oh, this shit jumped on me.
Go DJ. That's
right,
DJ.
That's right. Paula, what's going on? Nice to see you. As always, glad you can make it.
Hey,
King
Paula.
Matthew III. What's going on?
Hey.
What's up, Horror Queen? Yeah, I saw you and Val ripping us in the comment section, Horror Queen. I saw that. It's all good. It's all right. Hey, I tell you guys all the time, I'd be late to my own funeral, so shit happens. And I will also say this real quick, guys. I'm going to be posting the poll to vote for the Saturday watch party for Saw on my channel, and I also just posted it in the comment section of that Saw live stream. So it's out there. Make your votes, and we'll see what finishes with the highest percentage. Scroll down here a little bit more. DJ saying, as tonight's top theme is the evolution of classic films, the evolution of slashers, the evolution of the slasher side of horror. You know what I mean? Because there's plenty of different avenues in the horror genre. We have psychological horror, supernatural, so on and so forth. So tonight's focus will be on the slasher side and how it has evolved over the course of the years since it broke into the mainstream. So I am going to skip through some of these because I am far behind. I apologize. Yo, what's up, Dom?
Dom, I love a ding dong.
There you go. I was just about to say it, but Destin beat me to it. What's up, bro? And I will say this, Destin. I did go on Dom's channel last night for the Godzilla watch party that he had, and bro, I'm not gonna lie, that was a damn good one.
Which one y'all watch?
Basically Godzilla. Dom, put the title in the chat, man, because I can't remember. It's a long title, but it's basically the ending of it is all out monster attack.
Oh, so okay.
Basically, in this one, Godzilla was basically the villain, and you had all these other creatures that were the good guys trying to stop him.
Oh, okay.
And it was a banger, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. DJ saying we need to find a jingle using Godzilla theme for this channel. That's funny. King Matthew III saying, in my opinion, one way slashers have changed over the years is in the 90s. There used to be intense chase scenes and suspense. Nowadays, there isn't really suspense. Yeah, we're definitely going to touch on that, King Matthew, for sure. I'll end up coming back to that chat. I'll have to star it. What's up, Stella? Hope you're having a great night tonight. Thank you. And, of course, the General is in the house. What's going on, Val? Glad you can make it. Always glad to see you here. Always glad to see every single one of you guys here. We have 10 people in the chat right now. And, guys, if you haven't done so already, shoot the like button. You know it helps out a lot. And share on social media as well so we can keep growing this community. Excuse me. Val said, happy hump day, Stella. That's right. Stella saying, Dom, I thought of you this morning when I heard Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. That's awesome. I didn't even know they had a song titled such a thing.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, right? Okay. Guys talking amongst yourself. Cool, 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 like always. Awesome. Love the camaraderie between the chat. Val saying, oh, snap, on time. That's right. Well, originally it was scheduled for 9:05 and stuff like that, but I had to put this poll together for Saturday's watch party, so I did extend it by 10 minutes, and plus I wanted to give Destin a little bit more time because he also had some things that he was taking care of last minute, so we still are late. We still are on point with our lateness. Don't worry. All right, so I want to believe I am caught up. DJ saying 59 cents to Dom. Oh, here you go, Destin. Go for it.
What did 50 do when he was hungry? What did 50 do when he was hungry?
When did 50 do when he was hungry?
Yeah, what did he do when what did 50 do? What did 50 Cent do when he was hungry? 58.
Really? Where the fuck did that come from?
I saw the 59. I saw the 59-cent thing. That's all I was thinking about.
That's great. I'll tell you a quick story about 50 Cent. So back in middle school, I had this teacher. His name was Mr. Oweiler, and he's probably like in his late 20s, closing in on early 30s. So one Friday, he's like, you guys don't have no homework. You guys can just chill in the class and just hang out and talk to your friends. I'm just going to be grading papers, whatever. So my boy puts on the radio, and he's listening to the hip hop station, and 50 Cent in the club's on. And me and my buddies look over at him, and he's like really rapping the lyrics to the song. So we're like, man, you don't know nothing about this Mr. Oweiler. You know what I mean? You don't know nothing about no 50 Cent. He's like, I know more about 50 Cent than you guys do. And then it was like, oh, yeah, how so? He's like, put it this way. He said, if I were to have a rap album, I'd name myself 79 Cent, and the album would be called 29 Cent Better.
Damn.
Yo, he had us fucking rolling, bro. I was like, that's G shit. That's great.
Yeah, that's
Good
cool.
stuff.
That's cool.
Okay, so Dom saying Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters, All Out Attack. Yes, that was a banger.
Damn.
Bro.
That is a long title.
It is. It was great. Yes, we have to get on this. DJ saying Kiss Hooligan off the Kiss Love Gun album. Yup.
I didn't know where that was going. I was like, hell no.
Yeah, we definitely got to add that song, maybe as an intro song or something once we hear it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do a mixed version of it.
Val saying, Destin, I love that you used the Shape and MJ AI art in a post. Yeah, right?
Yeah, thank you, Val. She sent that to me. That was really cool. We were talking about it on the stream that one night, and then she made it and sent it to me. I was like, hey, I'm going to use this.
Yeah, right? That was a great job by her. That was sick. I loved it. That shit was
look good.
Hell yeah. Cool. All right, so we are caught up in the chat and stuff. So obviously, 6 ways the slasher side of horror has evolved ever since it broke into the mainstream and has become a mainstay in horror films in general. So Destin, I'll start with you, and for my list, I'm going to start down from number 6 all the way up to number 1 and stuff like that. You could choose to do the same, or you can start from your number 1 all the way down to number 6, whatever you choose to do, brother. So I'm going to ask you, you know what I mean, off the top of your head, what is one way, to start this list off that you feel the slasher side of horror has evolved ever since it broke into the mainstream?
Well, one thing that there's a couple of ways, but I'm going to talk about one that the first thing that really comes to my mind is the POV shot from the killer. The POV shot from the killer, it stems all the way back from from what I remember, it could be earlier, but from mainstream Psycho in the shower with the knife.
Yes.
And the camera and everything. And then you see that Halloween 78 did the same thing. Kind of took upon that. And there's a lot of other movies that kind of try to do it. They don't really do it as good as those 2 movies, as mystically, but always the POV shot of the killer. I've always found that fascinating. Like we're seeing it like almost like in a VR style, like we're in the eyes of the killer. Oh, another one, Brain Scan did it pretty good that we watched not too long ago. That was really cool. And then, and that one, it kind of, I wish they would have doubled down on that throughout the movie with the whole, like the voice telling him like go through the back door, grab a knife, cover up your footsteps, all that kind of stuff like that. I thought that was really fascinating. I would like to see that utilized more, but yeah, the POV shot, I think that is, one way that the slasher genre has evolved, and I think it's still evolving. And there's so many different creative ways that they could have done it. I wanted them to do it in the newer Halloween movies. I really wanted Halloween Ends. The way I wanted Halloween, and I'm going to shut up, but it bothers me that we didn't get this, was like, at the end of Halloween Kills, we always wondered, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Halloween Kills, it's been out for a while, but how did Michael get up there past all the police and everybody up there to Judy? And I would have loved if Ends would have started us seeing it from Michael's perspective, POV again, of him, sneaking around and going through the, maybe the neighbor's house and the neighbor's backyard and the backyard, and then just seeing him kind of like, even though they're sitting right there on the front steps, like him walk on by and goes right by him. Like he just walks right by him and they don't even notice that he went up the stairs. And just so happened that Judy was in the wrong place, wrong time. Stuff like that. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I wish that would have happened, but yeah, I still think that they're still utilizing it in a lot of different ways. You think of not the best entry, but Seed of Chucky. They did it from Chucky's perspective at the beginning of the movie. I thought that was the best part of that movie. I thought that was really creative and kind of cool. seeing little Chucky, but we're in his eyes. But it wasn't Chucky, it was Glenn, right?
Yes.
And I just thought that I was like, oh, this is cool. This is really creative what they're doing here. But I think that's one of the biggest ways that um, slasher genre, horror movies in general, is evolving. And this isn't slasher, and I haven't even seen this movie, but I know about it and I do want to see it. Oh, I can't even think of the title. It came out, I think, earlier this year, where you're in the perspective of the ghost and the family. It's got Lucy Liu in it, and it's a family that moves into a house, and you're in the perspective of the ghost, and you're seeing everything that's going. I can't remember the title of that movie. I meant to go see it, and it sounded really unique and really cool. But
Presence.
that sounds like it. Yep,
Yeah,
Presence.
because Jay Sony in the chat. What's up, Jay? Thank you for providing us with that intel
Yeah,
and stuff. So yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. Presence with the Lucy Liu movie you're talking about.
yeah, that's still on my list to watch. But I just think that that's fascinating to shoot a movie like that, like the entire movie you're in the perspective of the ghost.
Right. Another one, and Jay pointing out here, Peeping Tom 1960. That was definitely I think that was the first movie to really put us in the POV of the killer, but it didn't get like the mainstream attention that Psycho got for doing it, because that shower scene was so eye-catching and iconic that people tend to forget that Peeping Tom was the first slasher to put us in the POV of the killer. But great call out on that one, Jay, and glad to see you here with us tonight, man. Hope you're having a great night. And also to add on to that, Destin, we saw it last year in The Violent Nature.
Oh man, why did I not think of that? Yeah, exactly. Perfect. I mean, it wasn't like POV. It was like over the shoulder, like following him. But still, same thing. You're in that. You're following this one person through this entire thing. So
yep.
I think that there's like just how that movie did it. It's another way that they did a twist on it and did something unique, and it worked. And they're making a Violent Nature 2. I think they already wrapped filming on the second one, right? Or they're making it.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, they've been working on it for a little bit now, so it should be done.
Yeah. Man, I want to watch that movie again.
Yeah, right?
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we might do a watch party. That is a banger. You know what I mean? So I'll get to my number 6 choice, weapons of choice. How the weaponry in regards to slashers has evolved over the years. Because mainly at the start of it, it was basically butcher knife, you know what I mean? Basically just a regular kitchen knife, something like that. And then over the course of time, and I'd like to even think, all right, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre, chainsaw. I mean, then you had Freddy, you know what I mean? I would say Jason. Well, Jason, obviously, because he ended up using a machete. But when he first started, he was using a butcher knife as well and stuff like that in the second film. But then you get the evolution of Jason's machete. You get Freddy's knives for fingers and stuff. Scream with the hunting knife and stuff like that. Even Sorority Row. That fucking unique fucking.
Oh, that tire iron with the
yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just so many cool and innovative ways to give these slashers weapons that can differentiate themselves from other slashers. And it continues to keep evolving. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Hook. Candyman, hook for a hand. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So the weaponry in regards to the slashers, in my opinion, continues to evolve. And it's only going to keep continuing to evolve, because whether they're mainstream slashers or they're slashers that get a one-off and stuff like that, they're always finding new ways to get creative with what killer they're using and what type of weapon they have and stuff. And I think that is so pivotal to the slasher side of horror, because it does help differentiate certain slashers from each other. I love the fact that Freddy has knives for fingers. Why? Because it makes him stand out. You know what I mean? I love the fact that, yes, does Ghostface use a knife? Yes, but he uses a hunting knife. Right. It makes him stand out. So when I think about the evolution of the slashers, my number 6 picks is the weapons of choice, because over the course of years, the weaponry has only gotten better and better and better, in my opinion. Heck yeah, man.
That's great. You stole one of mine.
Oh. Stole one of mine. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So, okay. So going down the list again. So what is another way, Destin, that you see that the slasher, side of horror has evolved, and is going to continue to keep evolving as we keep getting more horror movies and slashers?
Well, one thing that it has evolved a little bit, but I want to see it evolve even more. I think there's still more playground to play in, is psychological with the slash. Like a Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, we talk about the glove, the slashing, but we talk about the slasher coming through nightmares and then can also be brought into the real world, which is very unique. And seeing Tina getting drug across up the wall and across the ceiling, and you don't see Freddy. I thought that was pretty wild. You just see slashes on her, and it almost at first glance it's almost seems supernatural. You know what I mean? But it's not. It's more psychological, and then on top of it, like a movie that we watched not too long ago, one of Stella's pick of choice for the Woodsboro Cinema Club, Identity.
Yep.
Identity. Such a unique way to tell a story, because it is sort of a slasher in a way. That's how he was killing people, was with a knife. Yeah, there was a couple of car crash scenes and a car blew up and stuff, but like even the baseball bat going down the throat. Near the end, he had the garden hoe that he hit her with. He was like the kid. I don't want to give away any spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, but the killer itself was a slasher at heart. You could tell, and but the story, the way the story was told, was from a psychological standpoint, and I thought that was really unique. And I think that there's still a lot more that they could do with something like that. I think there's a way to even bring in like supernatural with slashers, and that's something I've always found fascinating, that I've always kind of wanted to do, was find a way to bring the best of both worlds into a movie, to where you got kind of a ghost movie, but this person's also a slasher and maybe can possess you, and then you're the killer.
It's interesting. That's an interesting take for sure.
Yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about writing eventually. But it's something I've always, I like to write things that I've always wanted to see on the big screen. So,
heck yeah, man. Man, that's a great idea. I never thought about that. Like a psychological, like a supernatural type of slasher where they actually possess you. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool if you're like in a house that was haunted, and they do like a seance, like there's phenomenon going on around, paranormal shit. And then they're doing like a seance, but then they like break the circle or something, and then someone gets possessed, but you don't know who the killer is. So the killer's in somebody's body.
Like, yeah, that's sick. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. Man.
I might have to write it after I'm done with this script.
The gears are grinding, bro. The gears are grinding. Val saying, please make sure you smash that like button. Yes, please. Shoot it, smash it, punch it, kick it, elbow drop, Ric Flair. Woo, that son bitch. Whatever you got to do, it definitely helps out the episode of the podcast, and it helps out the channel in general. Greatly appreciate it. And also, I want to bring this to everybody's attention. Val is celebrating 4 months as a channel member. Val has basically been a member way longer than that. You know what I mean? She's acting stone, if you will. But thank you so much, Val, for your continued support. You already know I love you. You're family to me. The general, everything in between that. You're awesome. I greatly appreciate you. Saying, love y'all to the moon and back, and love my Shot 'em 6 times family. That's right. Absolutely, Val, for sure. And we love you too. Please don't ever forget that. You're awesome.
Go way back like flats on a Cadillac.
Yeah, right. That's right. Shit. What was the old school one? Me and my wire go back like babies and pacifiers.
Damn, I ain't heard that in a long time. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Wayne Turner, holy shit. What's up, man? Nice to see you here, buddy. I'm glad you can make it. Saying Saw traps now that is weapons in the Saw franchise. Yeah, very, very true. You know, great point there, Wayne, in regards to the weapons of choice. Yes. You know what I mean? Because you can even somewhat look at Saw as somewhat of a mini slasher too. Remember Destin or whatever in the first one, and you've done a great job of always pointing this out, which led you to believe that the original Saw you thought was going to be a slasher when John is on his spew, and then he says, "Sick of them all," and he pulls out that blade and he slices Danny Glover's neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there has been some traps where sharp objects in the form of a knife has been used to kill the test subject. So yeah, definitely great call out there, Wayne, for sure. Awesome. So I do want to get to this comment here because I seen Paula. Yeah, Paula put her 6 ways in, and we're going to be going through some of the chats here, and then we'll get back to our list and stuff. I'll name off my number 5. But Paula's saying, for me, the 6 ways are the production value. Ooh, that's really good. The script, the CGI/special effects, the sound design, the casting process, the editing, and for number 7, hey, we got to get that 7 shot in, right, Paula? That's right. The use of AI, case in point, Chucky was AI. That was a very good point right there. Yeah, that's a really good list, Paula. That's a fantastic list.
That is some
great
really
job. Damn. She fucking killed that, bro. Holy shit. That was really good.
Paula, you are officially a hooligan.
That's right. Stella saying we just watched Presents on Friday. It was okay. Oh, okay. Might have to check it out. Wayne saying hi all, is an extremely cold Thursday here in Sydney, Australia at 11:34 a.m. You know it, Wayne. I love it when you give me the time updates, man. I appreciate it. And why the hell is it extremely cold there? Is it not like summertime in Australia yet? Let me know. Because it's basically summertime here. This should be baking out this motherfucker. For real, man.
Today it's been like, a stormy weather. But yeah, normally it's been really hot. It's been blistering.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing I will say real quick in regards to like the weather. One thing this year, which I'm really happy with, is the rain we have gotten has given us cool fucking air. Because any other time here in Pennsylvania, when we get rain, bro, that shit be so damp and muggy, and I fucking hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that type of rain. No, if you're gonna rain, bring in that cool air.
Yeah.
King Matthew the Third saying the fisherman and I Know What You Did Last Summer used a fishing hook. That's a good weapon. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yo, what's up, Oliver? Oliver saying good morning, everyone. Well, good morning to you too, sir.
Good mooning, Oliver. Good mooning. What movie is that from?
I don't remember.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, dude. It's not horror. It's Varsity Blues.
Bro, I have not watched that movie in so fucking long, bro.
That movie puts me in a good mood, man.
Oh man. Damn, that used to be my shit too. I have to revisit that movie.
Tweeter getting up there and he goes, "Good mooning, boys. Good mooning."
Yo, another good one, Reservoir Dogs.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Quentin Tarantino.
Yep.
Well, there was talks there for a while. He was going to remake his own movie. He was going to actually, like, since he's got like the budget to do it and everything now, he was going to make the Reservoir Dogs like remake. I wouldn't be mad about that, like if he's the one making it.
Right. If he's the one doing it. If it's somebody else, he can kick fucking rocks.
Yeah.
DJ saying Friday the 13th also used hedge clippers in the Friday the 13th in A New Beginning. That is a great point. Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
Very, very good point. And what was it? Wasn't there another movie? Okay, so didn't they do it in the remake of House of Wax with the Clippers? I think they at least did it in one scene. And then when they got the Achilles heel, whenever they snapped his...
Yeah, bro. I forgot all about that.
And then there was another slasher movie that I've never seen, but I've always heard good things about, The Burning. And I think like the cover art is like holding the shears.
Oh, The Burning.
Something like that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's called The Burning. I think.
Oh, that just sounds like some shit.
Yeah. Sound like I'm going to hell.
Yeah, right. It is. Yo, what's up, Michael Joe? Thank you for stopping in. Greatly appreciate it. And guys, we are at 17 people watching. I greatly appreciate you guys showing up. We greatly appreciate you guys showing up. If you haven't done so already, you know the drill. Please shoot that like button, kick it, stab it, punch it, elbow drop, Ric Flair. Woo, that son of a bitch. Whatever you got to do. Help us get the algorithm juking. It definitely helps the episode of the podcast and the channels out a lot. And I will also say, real quick, if you guys haven't seen episode 1 of the Horror Hooligans podcast, go over to Destin's channel. It's in the podcast tab. Go over there, shoot the episode a like, rewatch it, hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think. And there are definitely going to be many more episodes because every Monday and Wednesday, we are going to be doing episodes of the Horror Hooligans podcast. Mondays will be on Destin's channel. Wednesdays will be here on my channel. Wayne Turner saying, like the Denzel Washington movie Falling. Yeah, for sure.
I love that movie.
Banger.
Love that movie.
Fucking banger. And I will read this next comment, and then we're going to get back to the list that I have, and then Destin's thoughts as well. Stella G saying, the final girls are no longer women who fight because they're forced into, but because they actively decide to fight or even hunt down the killer. They want to save not only themselves, but others. That is a great point, Stella. Really great point. You know, definitely the final girls of the slasher side of horror has definitely evolved from, you know, these characters who were kind of reluctant and only basically fought out of survival to becoming basically more willing to fight. Like they're tired of running, just like you point out in Scream 2, Destin, with Sydney. I'm sick of running. You know what I mean? If we can find out who this is, then it's all over. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely agree with that, Stella. Great call for sure. Okay, so now I am going to get to my number 5 on my list that I have, which is subhuman and regular human aspect of the slasher. You know what I mean? We have gotten to the point where slashers can either be regular human beings, like in Scream, or they can be subhuman in the form of Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, even the Grabber, the Black Phone, so on and so forth. And I feel like over the course of the years, that aspect has definitely changed because before it was basically just human type slashers. You know what I mean? Leatherface, he was a human slasher. Norman Bates, he was a human slasher, so on and so forth. And then it's like once we got Halloween, it's like a paradigm shift. Then we started getting these killers, masked or not, that were basically, you don't know what to interpret. Are they human? Are they not human? You know what I mean? It leaves it open for interpretation. And I think that aspect of the horror genre in regards to the slashers is definitely evolving. That's why I just mentioned the Grabber. Because as you guys seen in the Black Phone 2 trailer, it definitely does seem they're going with a Freddy Krueger-esque type of vibe. You know,
that's what I was hoping they were going to do, because I was like, how can you do this without you got to go supernatural now. You know?
Right.
And the way they're doing it, the visuals are awesome.
Yes. Another character, pointing an example, Art the Clown. You know, we know, and we're going to get that backstory in Terrifier 4. But we know for a fact that he was human before he became a demon. You know what I mean? It's just like Freddy. He was a human before he became a dream demon. You know what I mean? So over the course of time, in regards to the slasher side of horror, we have seen these iconic killers go from just being regular human beings, regular human psychos, to subhuman, to whether you know they are a demon, or like in Michael Myers' case, or even Jason's case, you don't really know what they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know they're in a human vessel, but you don't know if they are human themselves. It leaves it open for interpretation. And I think that's something that I want to keep seeing happen throughout the slasher side of horror, because I think it makes it interesting. You know, it adds some much needed diversity, you know, to the slasher side of horror. It doesn't always have to be a human being. You know what I mean? It can be subhuman, and it can still make it work.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like Frankenstein's monster or something like that. Like
Right.
something that's superhuman that you don't understand. You're not supposed to understand. It's just pure evil. Yeah.
Yes.
And some movies
Absolutely.
want to explain it too much instead of just leaving it kind of mysterious. And that's a
Right.
slippery slope to do because
Yeah.
not everyone's going to agree with that vision.
Right.
You know?
Halloween ends.
Oh, come on, man.
I had to do it.
No, you're right. You're
The
right.
timing was right.
You're right, man. You're right.
So, Destin, what would be your next thought in regards to how the slasher side of horror has evolved over the course of the years since it went mainstream?
My number 4. I'm number
Yes.
4, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I want to say the whole playing a game aspect.
Ooh.
The playing the game aspect started coming into play. I think Scream kind of knocked it off with the whole, horror movie trivia, which completely intriguing to me. And then you see Saw that did I want to play a game, but it's traps. Even though that there was, I think the original idea in the first movie that he was gonna, they didn't know what direction they were going to go with until the studio kind of took over and made it this big deal. But I think originally the idea that James Wan and Lee Winnell had was that he was sort of like a slasher. He was a killer. I'll stand by that. I think that the first movie, I think that he was a killer. I think that they just went into a different direction with the second one and going forward. But because why would he have that blade? We never saw that blade again coming out like Assassin's Creed,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was cool, and he did attempt to kill Danny Glover's character. But anyways, the playing the game aspect, I think, is very intriguing. They started doing that with that. They dabbled into it a little bit with urban legend. You want just a little bit, and I think that's what made that movie very fun. And I think there's a lot more you could do with urban legends and all that kind of stuff. If they kind of double down on that game aspect, kind of like which urban legend are we in? Do you think we're here or do you think we're there? And kind of switch it on its head in every kill scene or something. Like the killer just playing with everybody. So yeah, that's another way that I think that it's evolving, and I want to see it evolve even more. And hopefully, Scream 7, Kevin Williamson has something slick up his sleeve. Like
Right.
I know we're probably going to get the AI stuff, but when it comes to like the game aspect, I want more horror movie trivia. Like we might get it on an opening kill, but I want it more throughout the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I want them to double down on the horror movie trivia stuff in the Scream movies. So yeah, the whole playing a game aspect, the killer playing cat and mouse and playing a game, and if you get the answer wrong, you die. Or
Get
you
it right.
lose.
You're done.
Yeah, there you go. you're not going to get out anyways.
Yeah, right. It don't matter.
But
Yeah,
I think it just makes it a lot more fun. The whole playing the game aspect.
no, I agree with you, and that was a great point to bring up, bro. That was an excellent point to bring up for sure. You know what I mean? I don't have that on my list, and I kind of regret not having it on my list because that definitely has transcended the slasher side of horror for sure. You know what I mean? Like you said, Scream basically broke that fourth wall. You got Saw that did it. About to say, there's other movies that have done it too. Even like, even though it's not like, I want to say it's not slasher, but those type of nuances that they added in slashers made its way to supernatural, like the Ouija games and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely, playing a game like that aspect has definitely been transcended in the evolution of slasher films for sure, man. That was a great call.
Yeah.
I am going to get back to some of you guys here in the chat before I give my number 4 pick. She bought a vowel. That's funny. That reminds me of Will Fortune.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nice.
Heck yeah. Oliver saying Saul, 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 Saul. Many Sauls. Wow. Wayne's saying it is winter here, man. That's some, what do you call that, Destin?
Colder than a witch's tit. I don't know.
No, some baby back bullshit.
Oh, that's the baby back bullshit with some cheese on it.
Witch's tit. Oh man,
I didn't know what to do.
That's great. Oh man, love it, love it, love it. DJ saying Australia is in the southern hemisphere, south of the equator. Okay, yeah. Damn, like, see, I need to take my ass back to class.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oliver saying it's currently 9:44 here, sitting on the porch with a little wind. After a super hot day, I've been visited by 3 ghosts since 8:30. Yeah, I seen you said something like that, Oliver, in the last chat. Like, let me know what's up with that. Are you being serious or are you being funny? Because if you got ghosts, basically crowding your space, I think it's time to move from that space.
So today, that just reminded me. I'll just share this real quick. Today I was, working. I was in like my team's chat or whatever of my entire team that's in there, and I'm like, hey, today I had to go get a rental car also because I had to take my car to the shop because I was in a wreck last week, and so my appointment was like at 1:00 today, and I was like, hey, I gotta break away, gotta go drop off my car. I was in a wreck and I got to pick up my wreck car. And everyone's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? Everybody just like, same thing over it. I'm like, no, I'm dead. You talking to my ghost right now. Like, everybody's like, you're a smart ass. I was like, well, what the hell? Of course, I'm typing your ass. Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm typing your ass. Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm at work today, ain't I? Like, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, right. That's fucking.
I wasn't all right.
No, it's just an AI version of me.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, good stuff. Good stuff. DJ saying tonight on the Horror Hooligan podcast, weather updates throughout the earth. Yeah, right. Oh man. Well, we have a ton of rain coming over here from this side from the northern hemisphere, and then we got some really good tropical weather coming over here from this side of. Oh man, good stuff. Let's go. Jay Sony saying, so you were right about that, Destin, the burning. Saying the river raft scene in the burning is dope.
See,
okay,
I keep hearing about it. I keep hearing about it, but I haven't seen the movie. It's on my list to watch. Is it a whodunit or is it like a monster movie? I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look that up then. King Matthew saying the Ghostface in Scream 6 uses a gun while in the mask. That was pretty different compared to the usual knife. Yeah, for sure. That was definitely a nice little new look for Ghostface for sure. Oliver saying that sounds like a medical issue. Oh man. Wayne saying correct. Never seen The Burning though. That was movie debuts of Helen Hunt and Jason Alexander. Oh wow.
Oh. Okay. That makes me want to see it more.
DJ saying Marcus needs to get that catchphrase into that intro before the show begins. What catchphrase are you talking about, buddy?
Dama Lama Ding Dong.
Yo, what is up? Sister Pam in the chat, the Duchess of Woodsboro and the Corporal of the Charlie Army. Read it a week, Destin. Read it a week.
Shoulder me.
Go!
In the heart.
Nice to see you here, Pam. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day.
Good to see you, Sister Pam.
Stella saying more human than human, more human than human. Thanks, Rob Zombie. Yeah, right? That's fucking crazy. All right, so I'm going to speed up here in the chat because I know I'm like fucking behind. And then I'm going to get to my number 4 pick for, how slashers continue to evolve ever since it went mainstream and stuff like that. So, let me see here. Michael Joe saying Michael Myers was once human in the later movies. He was subhuman in movies like Part 6 and Part 5 and 4. See, I disagree with that, though, because I feel like he was subhuman already from the aspect of the first movie. You know what I mean? Because Dr. Loomis hammering home that fact. He's not human. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And plus, we seen this motherfucker take 6 slugs, get up and just troll right on down the street. So in my opinion, at that point, he was already subhuman. But that's just my opinion on that. Oliver saying, I have a crush. Oh, I wonder who the crush is.
On the ghost?
I guess so. Oliver's saying he's being serious. Well, bro, you might need to fucking move from that spot. Get away from there, bro. No good. No bueno.
You gotta sprinkle some salt around your room. Oh, that's witches. Wait, that's witches.
Yeah, burn some sage.
You just got the mood. Just move, man.
Burn some sage or something, bro. Shit. Oliver saying, no, go ahead, Destin.
I was going to say, my ex-mother-in-law, when we came back from Mexico City, she sworn that a ghost attached to her and followed us back to America. And she kept telling me that, like, she could see it on a shadow of it on the wall, and she was burning sage all over her house. And I'd come through the door, and she'd go all over me, and I'm just like, I was like, you just drunk.
You're just drunk.
You need some friends. You talking to your shadow.
Yo, why can I see you saying this shit to her?
Yeah, I don't think she likes it that.
Oliver saying, I've been seeing ghosts on and off for most of my life. Not joking, man. That sounds like some The Entity shit. You ever seen that movie, Destin, with Barbara Hershey? The chick from Insidious, the one who plays the main character's mom, Patrick Wilson's mom. It's a true story.
The Entity?
Yes, it's a true story.
Never seen that one.
Oh, bro. Nah, bro. I feel for that woman. Like, that shit was like apparently like super real, like to the point where it followed her no matter where she went. She would move, follows her. She'd move somewhere else, follows her. And I'm talking about like physically abuse her, do other stuff to her, all types of stuff, bro. Like, that movie is a movie that will stick with you for sure.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Is it Lynn Shay? Is that who you're talking about?
Barbara Hershey. Patrick Wilson's mom in the Insidious movies, the dark-haired lady.
Oh,
the one who basically Lynn Shay was helping originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Stella saying, my daughter recommended a slasher that she and her friends watched over the weekend. No One Lives. She said it freaked them out, but they're all 16 years old. Well, I like the title.
Is that? I think I know which one you're talking about. I think I saw part of it. It's got that one guy in it. I think he was in one of the Fast and the Furious movies.
Vince? Which Vince from the Fast and the Furious movies? Which one?
No, what's his name? He was also. Hold on, let me just see. Luke Evans is his name.
Yeah. Oh, I think. Wait, was he the one in the third one? Tokyo Drift?
No, he was actually in like the sixth one. I think he played Jason Statham's brother and all that kind of stuff. Like it kind of led into that.
I know who you're talking about. That dude, yeah.
He started being in a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, the one who's like I said, you were never in the game.
Yeah.
Alex, what's going on, man? Saying, have you seen A Bay of Blood, 1971? It's one of the earliest slasher films. No, I have not. Might have to add that to the list of watch parties. Thank you for the recommendation, though. But I do want to check out that No One Lives. That's a hot title.
Yeah.
But I am going to get back here to my list in regards to 6 ways the slasher craze has evolved ever since it went mainstream. My number 4 is The Big Chase. The Big Chase. I feel like over the course of slashers being in mainstream, The Big Chase has only evolved, especially if it's done correctly and written correctly by the creators. Because there has been moments where we have seen in movies where we're like, we get these chase scenes and we're like, man, if they really would have extended it, it would have been really a lot better in this particular movie. But I feel like the chase scenes have only gotten that much better because originally, you know, you really didn't get that much chase scenes. Think about it. In Psycho with the shower scene, wasn't no chase scene there. Just like when the detective, the investigator, you know, was walking in Norman's house. There was no chase there. Norman just came out, stabbed him, and he fell down the stairs. You know, I feel like when the big chase really started to become a thing is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I mean? And then we started getting Halloween and Jason and stuff like that. But the reason why I feel like it has evolved, because we talk about this a lot too, Destin, like the killers, you know, Michael's so slow walking, you know, somehow he still catches you. Jason even, yeah, he speed walks. But if you're running fucking 10, 15 miles per hour, there should be no way he could catch you. Now, I get it. Right. But also, Jason has the ability to somewhat teleport. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So even with Freddy, what I loved about Freddy's chase scenes or whatnot, it was always maniacal and methodical. You know what I mean? He didn't have to run after you to chase you. You know what I mean? And stuff like that to make that chase scene effective. Prime example, when he's like in the boiler room and everything transitioned and he's slowly walking towards them and stuff, the victims and all that stuff. And then, but to me, when the big chase scene really, really, really evolved, Scream 1996. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, that's when it really evolved to extending, you know what I mean, the chase. You know, Casey got chased all around that house and the outside of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Then you look at stuff like Urban Legend, you know, fuck, got chased throughout that whole field. You know what I mean? Like, even then, after the field, the car scene. So over the course of years, the big chase, when it is done correctly, has definitely evolved to the point where it's going to keep evolving and stuff like that, because that is such a big part of the slasher craze, in my opinion. You need that big chase. You need to feel that suspense, that intensity leading in to somebody possibly getting killed off or even surviving. You know what I mean? That's that right there. The big chase is, in my opinion, just as important as somebody getting killed. You know what I mean? Because of the suspense element that it adds to that slasher. You know what I mean? So I feel like the big chase is definitely evolving. You know, it's going to keep evolving. You know, like another one, Art the Clown. You know what I mean? Like his chase scenes are also really, really good. You know what I mean? So that is a definitely big aspect that, in my opinion, has definitely sometimes slowly progressed, but then at times it can also rapidly progress. You know what I mean? And I hope it keeps evolving. You know what I mean? Because that is a big reason why I'm a fan of slashers. I love the big chase scene, man.
Yeah, dude, man, you stole another one of mine.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm gonna try to pick something else, but I mean, man, that's great, man. Yeah. The just went out of focus. There we go. The chase scenes, man, it's so intense, man, because it's just like, oh my god, like on their tail, you don't know if they're gonna get away or what, you know. And it's just, it really is. It's a lot of. It's almost up there with the game, you know. It's kind of, you could do a slow walk pace chase, like I know what you did last summer, or you can do a fast one with Scream, and you know, even the Friday the 13th remake, the way they changed it up where Jason could run, which was pretty intense. And I mean, it's I'm kind of still in it a little bit because it was on my.
I don't give a fuck, bro. Do what you do.
So this is what am I on? I'm on 3 or 2.
Bro, we're brothers. What do brothers do sometimes? They even steal their own t-shirts.
Yeah. So I'm still in this one. I'm still in this one because it was my next one. Yeah, the chase scene, like I think back at A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, when Patricia Arquette's running with Freddy's daughter.
Oh yeah.
And then she can't run because it turns into mush.
Yeah, the mosh pit.
And you see Freddy like slide into at the end of the hallway and then running, you know, while trying to get her. That used to put chills up my spine. I was like, oh my god, like and what made that scary is they kept Freddy in the dark in that scene too.
Right.
You know, it wasn't lit up. You just see him, you see a silhouette, and then you just see him just charging with his claws up like this. And man, I wish we got more stuff like that in the Freddy movies. But yeah, man, those chase scenes, man, they definitely evolved, and it makes me almost want the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. I want just to change it up.
Mm-hmm.
Can this hook killer, like, I almost called it a hooker. Can this hook killer can this hook killer run? I would like to see that. Like maybe they're hiding that, a little bit, but that'd be kind of cool if you could see like kind of change that killer up a little bit, because it isn't Ben Willis anymore.
Right.
So maybe this killer kills differently. We already know that they're using like, spear guns and stuff like that. So they're using more fishing, weaponry. So
I will say, I do think there might be one running scene, and I know it's like a quick, like 2-3 second like glimpse of it, but it does look like towards the end of the original trailer or whatever for the reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer, when it looks like they're chasing Madeline Klein. It does look like they were running after her and stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to see that. And another one, she brought up fucking Freddy. And even though it wasn't real, well, Freddy counts because this motherfucker was in the sky, following in a way.
Yeah.
But in New Nightmare, when Dylan is walking across the fucking highway, bro, and fucking Nancy's trying to, protect him from getting hit by cars and shit like that, follow the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always thought that was one of the best chase scenes in horror movie history, because you not only have Freddy in the sky basically chasing but leading him back to his house, but you have Heather running after him to try to fucking stop him from getting fucking mutilated by a bunch of cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit was so intense, and it's still so intense when I watch that movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Love it. And Troll got the popcorn emojis. That's right.
I had some popcorn earlier.
Stella saying a great chase scene is everything. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Wayne saying Roman teleports in Scream 3. Yeah, they make you feel like that he does, right?
All those secret passages. Yeah.
Yeah. DJ saying 6 creative kill count, 5 increased jump scares. Okay. So now let me read this right. Number 6, creative kill count. Number 5, increased jump scares. Number 4, writers and directors have a vision on if a franchise or have a sequel mentality. 3, use more special effects, less AI effects. 2, less cash grab movies. 1, copyright laws were put in. I know why you did it like that, DJ, so you could fit all the words in and stuff. That was like fucking going through a maze. That was like mental gymnastics, but I was able to get through it. But no, I definitely agree. You know what I mean? I definitely agree, especially when it comes to them using AI and stuff like that, because nobody's likeness should be used, against their free will. Like if they don't want their likeness being used, you shouldn't use it. You know what I mean? Like, so I agree with that. Great selections, DJ. Huh. Oh wow. Destin, I know, wanted to see this, and I want to see this as well. Wayne Turner saying in a few hours, I am seeing new Australian horror movie, Disturbing Animals, starring Jay Courtney as a serial killer who runs a boat, charters, and feeds his tourists to sharks.
Yes, I am supposed to see that sometime this week. I was supposed to see it yesterday, but I haven't gotten around to it. So I should have a review out for it. Yeah, that's another way. Like you're taking like a creature feature movie and mixing it with the killer.
Yep.
It's cool. Look at think of a little bit of X, how feeding them to the crocodile, to the alligator in the backyard, like
yep.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a great point. Hell yeah, man.
I've
for
never seen
sure.
Mute Witness.
I do want to see that movie, Disturbing Animals. I like Jay Courtney. I think he's a good actor. Paula saying I had an 8 point. Well, if you can, Paula, can you rewrite it in the comment section, because I think I missed it. Alex saying also you should check out Mute Witness. I feel like I've seen that before, but I'm gonna have to revisit it because I don't remember it. But that title sounds very, very familiar. Definitely does sound familiar. Like I feel like I've watched that a while ago. Just flicking through the streaming platforms and stuff like that, seeing the title and be like, oh, let's check this out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit that because that definitely does sound familiar to me. Okay, so now that I am caught up in the chat, now we move on to number 3. And Destin, I'll let you go first. What is your third way that the slasher side of horror has evolved ever since it broke into the mainstream?
That was my third one. The chasing scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Got you. All right. Well, I'll give my third one then. Creativity and diversity. And what I mean by that is the killer's look, the killer's appearance. It has evolved over the course of the years because not only did we get, like I said, human and subhuman killers, but then you have the masked killers. But then you also have killers who look like Christian Bale in American Psycho.
Ooh, yeah.
Clean cut, fucking sharp looking businessman looking motherfucker. Only difference is he's hacking bodies up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff. And I love that. That's why I love slashers, because you can get so creative with the look and the appearance of the killer. Another one, Freddy. Fucking that fucking sweater, bro. Think about it. Jason and Michael basically wear coveralls in so many ways. Yeah. I mean, I know in the second one when Jason was introduced, he wore overalls, with a flannel. But then that went to basically him looking like a fucking mechanic, just like Michael Myers. And I mean, Freddy, in my opinion, and you can add Leatherface too, because Leatherface, using people's skin as the mask. You know what I mean? And stuff like that, and just looking like a fucking straight up gnarly ass, stinky ass butcher. You know what I mean? But to me, Freddy was the one who really transcended the look, you know what I mean, of what a slasher, what you can do creatively with a slasher. The burned skin, the fucking Christmas sweater, the knives for fingers, all of that. Yep, that's right. You know what I mean? And I feel like that has definitely transcended over the course of time. Look at Scream, the ghost face. You know what I mean? Like, usually when you would see ghosts in movie, it's either in a supernatural way or you have Michael Myers putting a sheet over his head. You know what I mean? And, or they poke holes in them and stuff. The creativity and the diversity in the killer's look, in my opinion, has evolved so fucking much. When you look at Art the Clown, you know what I mean? Like, he appears as a clown, but so many people are used to the It look that they automatically assume he's going to be all supernatural. But Art isn't just supernatural. He's a slasher as well. He's a serial killer. You know what I mean? Another one, fucking The Fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. You know what I mean? An appearance that looks really not that intimidating. You know what I mean? Because they look like a casual person. You know what I mean? But they have this aura to them that is a killer. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that in slashers that you can really have a lot of fun with how the killers look, whether they're clean cut like Christian Bale is, or even Norman Bates. Like Norman Bates, like he was pretty clean cut, pretty like normal looking and stuff. You know what I mean? You can do so much in regards to the creativity and the diversity of how a killer looks. And I think that is only going to keep evolving. Prime example, A Wonderful Knife. You could definitely tell they got the look from Scream, but they were able to make it work because they still came up with their own way and their own look. You know what I mean? Fucking even what's that called? Founders Day. Bro, I love that mask. You know what I mean? Thanksgiving, the John Carver mask. You know what I mean? There are so many different ways that you can not only play into the tropes of just horror movies, but also regular society. You know what I mean? Because John Carver, that's a symbol for Thanksgiving. That's like a national holiday. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So that's why I feel like creativity and diversity in the killer's looks keeps evolving over the course of time as we keep getting all these slashers that, continue to bust out into the mainstream, whether they get a franchise or whether they get a one-off.
Right. I mean, even think about this. Like, I know I mentioned it earlier, the look of House of Wax remake.
Bro.
Like, and just putting people in wax and stuff. I know that was like, done before, but just still the look of the killer and everything was just, it was cool. It was unique. I liked it.
Right. Absolutely. Bro, that's one of the most underrated remakes.
I believe so too, man. I believe so too. I think it gets, I think it gets shit on more. I think if Paris Hilton, I'm not even gonna go down that, but I think it's just,
go ahead.
Automatically want to hate it because Paris Hilton's in it.
Yep.
For whatever reason, and they didn't go the same way as the original House of Wax. Okay, I still think they did a really creative and cool job. I think it was well directed too.
Yes. That movie is a fucking banger, and it needs more attention. It needs more love, because to me, that's in like my top 5 best remakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some people might hate me for saying that, but it is. And I feel like you're right, Destin. The only real reason why that movie gets fucking hate is because of Paris Hilton.
Right.
Or whatnot. And you know what's even worse?
She had a good kill. She had a good kill, though.
But you know what's even worse about that? Is when you look how Paris Hilton is now, and she has come out saying that the way she acted back then was literally just an act.
Yeah.
It makes you feel bad for the House of Wax, because people who saw that she was going to be in that movie only looked at it as, oh, well, we're getting this Paris Hilton in here who is like this bougie Malibu Barbie type of chick or whatever and stuff like that, and we don't want to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
And just because they had dislike for her, they automatically disliked the movie. And I think that was bullshit.
Yeah, I think it was too, because we had a good final girl in it. We had some gnarly kills. We had a really good climax. I liked it.
Also, before we move on, another movie that had creativity in regards to the look. You're Next. The sheep masks.
Yeah. Yes. The animal masks and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Hell yes. That shit was a banger.
Yep.
They were supposed to make a second one to that, but they were never able to do it.
Maybe they will. I
hope.
Yeah.
Bring the original final girl back too.
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to catch up with some of you guys here in the chat. We are going to start to wind it down here. We are going to be on our last 2 picks and stuff like that, and then we're going to end up wrapping up this episode of Horror Hooligans podcast. But I am going to get to some of you guys chats here, catch up with you guys. Oliver saying, have you guys seen Beyond the Mask? I don't think so. I don't think so at all, Oliver.
Have you guys seen Beyond the Mask or Behind the Mask? Because Beyond the Mask is the YouTube channel. Behind the Mask is a movie that is really good. I love that movie. I actually interviewed the guy who played the killer in that movie on my channel a while back. A couple of years ago.
Huh. Yeah, let us know, Oliver. Let us know exactly if that's what you're talking about. DJ says, question, when Night of the Living Dead, since there was no copyright laws, do you think they should do away with it since it's from the late 60s, even though it shows 1976 credits? I'll be honest with you, I never got into that movie. Never got into Night of the Living Dead. Not really a big zombie guy. So, Destin, I'll leave that one for you, buddy. I don't know if you've really paid attention to that series or what.
I'm not too familiar with the older ones. I have seen the original black and white one. I did like Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead. I really enjoyed that one. I like 28 days later and 28 weeks later, and I'm looking forward to next week's. I think it comes out next week. 28 years later. We were supposed to get a 28 months later, but anyways, I do like the zombie stuff. I like gritty zombie stuff. Return of the Living Dead. I was a fan of that. I'm glad to see that's coming back. I just think it's very oversaturated. When it comes to like the originals, like the 60s and 70s of them, though, I never saw the original Dawn of the Dead. I never saw the original Night. I saw bits and pieces of the black and white Night of the Living Dead, but I never watched it from beginning to end. I watched more of the remake stuff, but yeah, I mean, I liked them. I don't think that. What do you mean by like since there was no copyright laws? Do you think they should do away with it since it's from the late 60s? I don't think so. I think there's always a place. There's zombie movies with The Walking Dead coming back. It kind of revitalized the zombie craze. So I think it's okay. Everyone can do their own spin with zombies, even though it is overplayed.
Yeah, and I feel like if there was no copyright laws then, even though there obviously is now, I mean, if they wanted to change it, they would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to get rid of it, they would have done it.
Right.
Okay, Paula saying I rewrote my 8th point, so let me scroll back up here because I must have missed it again.
Train to Busan, Stella, fantastic zombie movie. Train to Busan is badass, dude.
Okay, so the costume design, is that your 8th point, Paula? So the costume design, yeah, for sure. Yeah, basically like playing into the creativity and the diversity and stuff of the killer's look. Yeah, for sure. That has definitely evolved over the course of years, and I love it because it helps flush out these killers, these slashers that we have, and it makes it to where they're not always all the same or they all look the same, So yeah, definitely. Yeah, Stella G saying Train to Busan is my favorite zombie film. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I've tried to get into the zombie stuff. I don't know what it is. It's just not for me. No, I'm just not really interested in it. You know what I mean? And stuff like I've tried to will myself through them, and it's just like, yeah, I just not for Marcus, not for Marketito, not for me. No, sorry, but hey, if it's for you guys, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Okay. Yeah, I just got your private chat, Destin. We're going to zoom through these last two real quickly, and then we're going to call it a night.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. So my second one would be more than just quiet killers, the personalities of the killers, of the slashers. I love the fact that how over the course of, the slasher craze, we have gotten like, all right, Norman Bates, obviously he could talk and stuff like that. But then we hit this patch where we get killers like Leatherface, Michael, Jason, and stuff that don't talk. They're mute.
Yeah.
And then we get guys like Freddy Krueger. We get killers like Ghostface, the phone calls, the personalities, the charisma of these slashers have only gotten better over the course of time, in my opinion. Like another one, John Carver, even though he was kind of mute, obviously we know he was a human. Patrick Dempsey's character fucking did great, bro. His dialogue in that movie was so good, in my opinion. There will be no leftovers. Like, he had a charisma and an intensity to him that I feel like we need to see more of in the slasher side. We always talk about it with our Scream killers, bro. Yeah. We need to see more of that from them and stuff. But I feel like over the course of these years, they have done a good job with some of these projects where we will get the mute killers like Art the Clown, but then we will get these killers who talk and have charisma and are cool. You actually kind of like, it's kind of like, with my wrestling craze, that you like the heels, you like the bad guys because they have this bravado and this charisma to them and stuff. And I feel like over the course of slashers break into the mainstream audience, that is only going to keep evolving. We're only going to keep getting killers who have more charisma, who are able to captivate an audience with words and not just by the way they stalk and the way they kill and stuff, or the way they look. In my opinion, as much as I love Michael Myers, I love a killer who can talk. That's why I'm such a big fan of Scream. You know what I mean? I love a killer who can talk shit and toy with their victims. You know what I mean? So that is definitely another way that the slasher craze, in regards to how it has evolved over the course of its mainstream popularity rise, that continues to grow.
Yeah. Nice one. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's a good one. I didn't even think about it.
Hell yeah.
My number 2 is environmental kills. Not just with a weapon, which was kind of cool, in the later Screams, like, love it or hate it, they don't overutilize it, but with the shotgun and stuff like that. But I'm talking about more like Final Destination, which that is a cheap one I am going to use here in a minute. Urban Legend Final Cut. That's what I was going to say. The whole segment with, you wake up in a bathtub and your kidneys removed, and then she's trying to go out the window and he's pulling her through, and she grabs a hold of the window and it breaks, and then she, the camera just stops and she gets wide-eyed and he just slams the glass down on her. Boom, her head falls off. Stuff like that we need more in slasher movies. The environmental kills, like I said, I'm going to cheat with Final Destination. Like some of those things of like, just, it's death doing it, but just the way that some people can get killed, especially in that first movie, with the shadowy figure and stuff like that. I think it's very unique, like how Todd gets hung and it looks like he killed himself, but it's really death strangling him, It did get a little slashery with the teacher, the knife falling and blowing up and on the glass getting in her neck and stuff. I love like good environmental kills. I'm going to cheat with this, which it is kind of a slasher, The Hitcher remake.
Oh yeah,
where he ties the guy between two semis and pops them apart. I love that kind of stuff, man. I think it's kind of unique. You can get Jason sometimes does it, with the it's by his hands, but he like the sleeping bag kill, wrapping them up, pop them against the tree or hanging them over a fireplace or something like that. Like I really dig that kind of stuff, man.
Scream 6 with the ladder kill.
The ladder kill, yes. Like he put the knife down, he stabbed it down, and he started toying with her. Yeah, like I like more stuff. Like we need more stuff than just stabby stab.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. 100%. All right, so now we get to the number 1. And for me, my number 1 is the storytelling has evolved over the course of these slashers' mainstream rise in popularity. We went from basically, we can go from basically these slashers having no real motive to killing to having a really deep intellectual backstory into why they do what they do. Now, sometimes for certain killers that doesn't work well. Right. But then for other killers, it does work well. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that there's no rhyme or reason with slashers. You know what I mean? I love that there's no motives. But then sometimes I do like to hear a little backstory into why the man or woman became a monster. You know what I mean? Right. I love that type of stuff, especially from a psychological standpoint. How you brought it up earlier, Destin, wanted to see a little bit more psychological stuff. I like how in some slashers, they do go in that route. You know what I mean? I thought Longlegs was going to be like that. You know what I mean? It was somewhat like that, but it was a little different in its own right. It was definitely psychological and stuff. But the storytelling and how you tell this story for a particular slasher, I think it's only gotten better. I feel like it's only going to keep getting better. I'm really excited to see what they do with the Black Phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see what they do with Terrifier 4. But for me, my number one way that slashers has evolved over the course of its rise in mainstream popularity is the storytelling. It's whether you're getting a story, a backstory on them, or not. And I like both aspects of that. I like playing into both aspects of that. So that's my number one, bro.
Nice. Very nice. My number one, and this is something I was going to say earlier, but I moved it to number one because it's re-evolving. It did started off, but this is now becoming we're getting a resurgence of it with the realism and the gore practical effects. Especially with the Terrifier movies.
Yes.
A lot of the mainstream movies, it just was not like that. And with Terrifier 3 being such a huge hit, I feel like we're gonna get more movies like that because it is making money now. It's starting to become a little bit of the norm. It kind of broke that mold a little bit because a lot of movies would play it safe. They'd play it clean kills and they wouldn't show too much gore. They did early on, they did some gritty shit in the 80s and stuff like that. And then the 90s kind of was like the clean killing and a little bit, and thinking of environmental kills, Tatum's kill too, and Scream with the doggy door.
Yep.
I meant to say that earlier, but they still had unique stuff like that, but they didn't go over gory with it. And now you're getting like in a violent nature, these really intense kills with like the yoga scene, and then you got the Terrifier moves up close and personal with the chainsaws and the saws. And it just, dude, and honestly, the Saw movies, they were stretching it. They kind of were the ones that were kind of pushing the boundaries when the other slashers were kind of playing it safe. And so, yeah, I think that it's coming back. I think the hardcore gore and kills and up close and the practical effects of those,
yes,
are re-evolving.
I agree, man. That was an excellent point, especially in regards to like what Damien Leone is doing with fucking Terrifier. His practicals are amazing. And to piggyback what you just said of Saw, remember, that's not how the original Saw movie, like the original Saw was. That you barely had any blood at all in that movie.
And then Saw X came back with a vengeance. It had some really gnarly shit.
Yep.
So
yes, I agree, man. That was a good one. That was a really, really good one. Yep. But guys, we are going to get out of here for tonight. We greatly appreciate everybody who stopped in and tuned in for episode 2 of the Horror Hooligans podcast. We are going to be back for episode 3 on Destin's channel next Monday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So guys, this was definitely a lot of fun. I will be catching you guys here back on the channel tomorrow. I will be having a Friday the 13th stream that I will be putting together, and it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And as you guys know, I also have the poll out. Check the Saw live watch party that I just did. Well, not Saw live watch party, the Saw live stream. Go in the comment section. The link for the poll for you guys to vote on the next Saw movie we're going to watch Saturday it's already there. So you guys can cast your votes, get them in, and as you guys know, whatever finishes with the highest voting percentage, that is what we're going to watch on Saturday. This was definitely a great time. Once again, this is the Horror Hooligans podcast. I am Marcus.
I'm Destin.
Everybody, have a great night, and we'll catch you the next time.